Let us move on now to a team that, apparently has this dark cloud over their head because, as we all saw this weekend, there was an eerie deja vu feeling I had watching the end of that game. Just a different guy cast in the same role as Cursed, as we all saw Tyler Bass miss a field goal wide right, kind of the same way Scott Norwood did on January 27th, 1991 in Super Bowl 25, when tasked with winning the game and winning the first Super Bowl for Buffalo. Scott Norwood kicked it wide right, giving the Giants the 20-19 victory. Now, we all know that led to Buffalo losing 4 Super Bowls at that time in that late 80s, early 90s, or that 90s window. And now they've lost, 3 times to the Chiefs in the past few years? Mm-hmm. Guys, is Buffalo cursed? Is there just never is Buffalo never going to get over the hump here? Like, what in the world is happening? I'm just going to throw this out to everyone because I do want to hear from all of you guys. Like, what is going on there? Is it what is happening?
They're not cursed. They only had 4 linemen that could dress to come into the game. Okay, you can't do a pass rush with that. Secondly, their kicker was injured. They talked about that. So you're sitting there. The fact that team was able to keep the Chiefs to 24 points with those issues coming in, it's not the kicker's fault. They're not cursed. They need to make changes. They need to look at what they've been doing. Like, okay, and not make somebody a scapegoat, which we'll go into another thing I know we're going to talk about. They're not cursed. Come on, guys. Fans like curses because then that makes sense to them, because then it's, why isn't management doing A, B, or C? Like, is it the right head coach? Well, how many times has this coach taken them to the playoffs in the last 5 years and they've not been able to either they make it to the big game and don't make it to the championship and don't make the Super Bowl, or they get to this point and they lose. I thought that game was phenomenal. I thought the Bills were doing really, really good at controlling the Chiefs with all of the problems they had.
I agree with that, Lawrence.
That
was
Stefon Diggs.
And Stefon Diggs not getting that ball.
Stefon Diggs had that ball hit him right in the bread basket, and he watched it roll in the bread basket, roll out of the bread basket, and then he made that same dumb face. I could see it through his face mask. That same dumb face he made on Celebrity Family Feud when he made that joke. He thought it was so funny.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Wow, I wish we had that clip now because that was hilarious. I remember that.
That was funny.
But see, that was the thing too. Like, I saw a stat which was they showed like the first half, and then like the fourth quarter he had like 0 catches, and like he just totally didn't show up. It seemed like Stefon Diggs was just not a factor at all, really, in this game. And it's that's your number one guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the guy you rely on most. Like you said, watching that play, you go, oh my God, it hit him right in the hands. How do you think about Stefon Diggs is going to catch that? How do you drop that? Like, it hit him right in the midst and just fell to the ground. Just incredible. I mean,
he is in a tough conference. I agree. Honestly, we always talk about it that the AFC is like insane.
Put him in the hands of Stone Club and Kadarius Toney.
Yeah.
Who was rolled off for Sunday's game, so we didn't play anyway. So we didn't have to worry about. We had another Stonehands and Stefon Diggs. So there you go. He became the new Stonehands for that weekend.
Well, Tony isn't. Tony's out now. So.
He's out now though, permanently, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've said this before. I think I said this at some point during. I said this, and this was on the college show. You have 4 15-minute quarters. In order, and at which point you have all available opportunity, the same available opportunity as the team you're playing to do everything you can to win the game. If you have not done everything you can to win the game, i.e., wide receivers that are asking for a bunch of money that can't catch footballs, even if you hit them in the face with it and it's doused and sticking.
Right.
Even if it's your entire offense just decides that's it, we played enough football to win and doesn't show up in the fourth quarter, whatever it is, it does not come down to that one play. It's not. It's not Tyler Bass' fault. I mean, Tyler Bass came out and had the whole world on his back. The team was playing the way the team was playing. It was score for score, and I think what had happened had hadn't Kansas City fumbled the ball out of the end zone, and Buffalo got the ball back, but that was that.
Yeah,
at that point, that was where they had the opportunity to drive down the field and take the lead, and they didn't, and they couldn't do it. So it's like, please miss me with the. I mean, we like to, Tina, you're right. We like to use curses. I mean, Boston, their Sox were cursed forever until
Cubs, 108 years,
Cubs,
right?
The GOAT,
right?
The GOAT, yeah,
the GOAT, right? So. I mean,
the Lions did it. Who was Jeff Daniels and whatever? Like Peyton Manning do a ritual for making jokes,
right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Right. So it's like we like, because those things make more sense to us. We can take it and compartmentalize it. But what it comes down to is, for yet another year, when given the opportunity to execute, the only time that the Bills had a legitimate excuse for losing to the Chiefs was the year they did not get the ball back in overtime.
In overtime, right.
But this
which prompted a rule change.
Right.
So yeah.
This game right here, Buffalo fans, I'm sorry. Y'all are some of the craziest, funniest fans in the world to watch, but zero excuses. You had opportunities. There's a whole bunch of other people y'all can holler at instead of Tyler Bass. And leave that man alone, because y'all don't know who he rolled with in these here streets. He might have folks in the streets. So anyway, that's all I got.
I agree. Yeah. I agree, honestly. Like I said at this show, I told you guys, don't give Kermit the ball. It's I'm like, do not give him any time. He spins out of stuff, and even when he messed up one play, he comes back like nothing. Like he's like, whatever. And they didn't pressure him. You know that they talked about that too. The Buffalo Bills defense. If you pressure Mahomes, you can beat him because they've proven it before. If you pressure
Mahomes,
do
it with only 4 linebackers.
But I mean, there is
that's the fact of the matter. That's the reason why they didn't pass rush. That's why they blitzed. You're right. You have to put pressure on him. You've got to
take him out.
Exactly. And that's why I'm saying. That's why I said. The fact that they kept him to 24 points in that game when they were so decimated at linebacker and their defense wasn't at full strength, I give him a lot of props for that part of it.
Yeah, but he was.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No, don't. You're right. But the thing is, he didn't. But the thing too is he passed more than Josh Allen, which tells me.
But he had the worst game of his season.
I still 184. This is Josh Allen. Is a 4 touchdown, right? Like he would get 4 touchdowns a game, at least 3 to 4, over 200 yards. He had 85 yards and 1 touchdown. And all of them were really short passes, which to me tells me they really played conservatively, in my opinion, with his passing game. Because they probably were Mr. Turnover, Josh Allen. And I think that's what they did. And I think that hurt them in the end. I think they really should have gone for some of those, some more passing, in my opinion.
And the one that the Chiefs couldn't hold back was the guy that they got involved late. And I'm trying to Google his name.
I agree.
Their tight end, not Knox, not him, but the other one that they got involved late. The Bills did. If they'd been able to get him the ball sooner.
Dalton Kincaid.
Oh yeah, the young kid, the rookie. Yeah,
Dalton Kincaid.
Yep.
In that second half was lights out. And
he was. He was great. They
needed to get him involved a little faster.
See, every time they went for the big play, though, they didn't seem to convert it, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, right? They may have played a little, except Kincaid, right? Yeah. It was, and then to the point. No, go ahead, Tina. Finish your thought. No, it's okay. Like I said, that's why we're here. We talk. We talk. We have our fun, but we do talk sports here. We can do that. I promise you. We have knowledge. We are here for a reason. But to get into our next,
Delilah, is that it looked like the Bills were playing so conservative in the second half of the game. Where in the first half, it looked like they were willing to give Josh a little bit of leash. Okay, you can make this run. Okay, you can try this. And in the second half, they just kind of kiboshed it because, again, they don't want him throwing interceptions. They don't want him doing this. And they got lucky with that fumble in the end zone. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, they really
Friday.
did. Because if
Yeah.
they had scored there, they'd be up 2 scores, and that game probably would have been out of reach at that point.